Alrighty, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the wholesome stream so far for Shots Fired, but it's about to be ruined. And you have none other to blame than the organizers and staff for Shots Fired for this run that you're about to see. But yeah, I guess I'll introduce myself quickly, as we're about to go through the explanation about the game. You're going to see it'll explain it, everything to yourself, for everybody, for what we're going to be able to do. But my name is Mash. I primarily speedrun the Draconnier series as well as the Onishibara series, which was related to this game. So this game is a spin-off of the Onishibara games. If you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. It's an interesting and complicated thing to explain. But Shots Fired decided to select this game, which is one of the only few games that I run that actually have any sort of shooting involved at all. And we're going to play this game with a bunch of schoolgirl waifus and kill some zombies. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them during the run. There's going to be a bit to unpack throughout the run. There's a bunch of mechanics that might seem a little odd at first that we'll explain as we go. But essentially, what's going to boil down to is these schoolgirls are trapped inside of their school with a zombie invasion taking place during the events of the Onishibara games. So this is happening alongside the storyline of the Onishibara games. And yeah, so we're picking up with some different characters. So, one of the things we're going to do, we're going to go into config real quickly here. We can change the color of the blood. I've got the okay and the approval from the dictator to change the color of the blood to, you guessed it, white. Now, there's a lot of other options, but they don't matter, because white is the only option. Everything is already set up. This is a new game plus file, so that means that we already have all of our characters already set up, ready to go. We're not grinding or anything. It's just straightforward, play the game. And yeah, this is a third-person action shooter. And we're about ready to start with the run. So there is 5 chapters, and each chapter is divided into several levels. We'll be skipping any of the submissions chapters, and we're playing on normal mode. So anyways, ready on time. So we'll do a countdown, and the run will start. And we'll start explaining things as we go. So starting from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... and go. So anyways, so the first chapter we're going to start up is just a little introduction to the shooting mechanics of this game. And the way it works is we have multiple weapons we can equip. We only have 3 out of, I believe, 5 or 6 that we can have equipped at a time, and that's just for easier cycling between them. We have very specific weapons that we're going to be using, and very specific mechanics that we're going to be taking advantage of as we play. So we switched the blood to white, and we're using a gun that does 0 damage right now. And the reason for that is it has dismember and piercing on it. And the reason for that is it allows us to quickly kill and dismember the zombies, as we're seeing here. We have different weapons to swap to. The shooting mechanics in the game are a little janked, but essentially we try to speed through the levels as fast as possible. So really short introduction level, we can skip through all that. Load screens take a bit of time. This is being done off the PlayStation 4. This game was ported along with a lot of the Onishibara games to PC on Steam over the last few years. While there might be some issues with running the games on PC, it is best to play these on the PlayStation, since that was the original platform they were developed and published on. And this is all running off the ArcSys engine, and published by Tamsoft and D3 Publishing. So really, really cool stuff. So anyways, we're going to skip through some cutscenes, and we're going to get right into the second level. We're playing as a very specific character, Ryasan. She has the fastest movement and fastest fastest movement and the best usage for stamina gauge, which is on the bottom left-hand portion of the screen underneath the green bar, which is our health. So there is a dash button that we'll be using to try to get through the levels, be speedy, and essentially try to keep our stamina up as much as possible to take advantage of that whenever we can. So as we start progressing through the game, the levels will get significantly longer and a lot more challenging. There's a few different levels in which we'll be switching from just straight up running to the objective or killing to protecting or collecting. So there's a few different variations on the types of levels that you can have in this game. So in this level here, we're trying to make it to a destination. So we're just gonna run. And whenever we get blocked up by a wall that just pops up there, that means we have to take out enemies to be able to drop the wall to keep going. Now, the one thing that we need to take note of is that in this game, you have delay on actions, but we can break that with animation cancels. So I can start a reload, cancel it, start a reload again, but then sprint at the same time, rather than waiting for one or the other action to finish. Essentially breaking the animation so that I'm not like slowly walking or strafing, and then allowing me to, you know, quickly maneuver myself to get into position and kind of speed up some of the reloads and stuff. So we'll just quickly burst these guys down, then run through the door, and we're done this already. So the outfit that we're wearing on Ryo-san is from the Onishambara games. It's actually the Kagura outfit from Z2 Chaos and from Z Kagura, if you're familiar with those titles. All of these games are originally published in Japan and then were brought over to the West. This game, unlike some of the others, does not have any English audio whatsoever, but it does have English text. They did manage to somehow decently translate the game into English. And yeah, so we'll be going through the game as such. And it has really banger music, like most of the games in the series. But it definitely is not the prettiest to look at. So in this mission, we have to eradicate a bunch of enemies. Pretty simple, straightforward things. If you played EDF at all, you'll see guns drop in the game as you're playing it, and those are random. Just like in EDF, you collect those, and you get weapons. Potentially good ones, potentially ones you already have, you don't know. And the idea is to just get through them as quickly as possible. So our loadout, particularly, is a SMG, an assault rifle, and a shotgun. SMG has the fastest rate of fire. The assault rifle we have actually does damage. And the shotgun is really good for bursting. You won't see the shotgun too much in the run, just because it has very short range, and it is incredibly inaccurate to use, but we'll see it used a few times on some bosses. Primarily, the run for most enemies we encounter will be using the SMG, the assault rifle at decent range when we're looking to deal damage. And for the most part, we'll be not using too many items in the game. We do have some items to use, but we'll be taking advantage of some mechanics shortly. So one of the things that we do in this run that you can't really do in any percent new game is we already have, besides having already access to gear, we don't have to try to set up our equipment and stuff in the middle of the run, which means we're saving time just from that alone, which is pretty significant. Unfortunately, I got hit, which sends me flying, which is not good. And the one thing that we'll take advantage of is doing a double reload like this. And we want to kill the big guys with the 0 damage gun, because again, dismemberment kills zombies a lot quicker than trying to deal damage to them. And the big guys, unfortunately, take a little bit more to take out. And We're gonna get a little tired of hearing some of the sounds, but they're gonna get pretty repetitive as we go. Some of these big guys are really annoying. So, yeah. Having weapons reload, and then you can just swap over to the next one instead of reloading sometimes can be a lot better than waiting for a reload. So, in that case, that's the best thing to be doing. So we're approaching the end of Chapter 1. I got a couple more levels to finish up. So the reason we're playing this on normal is because hard is significantly harder. Even with max level characters being at 30, hard mode is very dangerous. And it's not just because of the trolling that can happen with some spawns and stuff like that. It's just literally things take forever to kill. So now we have to retrieve 3 card keys. So one of the first card keys is over here in this washroom. Grab that one. And we're gonna go down to go pick up another one. And then we're gonna keep running. I gotta go back up the stairs here. Go get another and the final card key. Which, I have some zombies in the way, unfortunately, so we'll just melee them. Yes, there is melee. Although it's pretty slow, so we don't like using it a lot. Yeah, we can definitely obtain new underwear. We'll get into the details of that particular mechanic when it's relevant, but yeah, underwear is a mechanic in this game. Not sure exactly how to explain it without it sounding dumb, but it is what it is. Alrighty. So the estimate for this run is pretty generous, specifically because there is a bit of trolling. Also to allow the intro and the outro bits that are pretty ritual for me when I run this game. But mainly, there is a very tough boss fight at the very end of the game, and it's just pretty RNG. You can get trolled a lot. And for some reason, if we somehow manage to fail maybe like the defense missions, like this one currently, where you have to protect Mr. Base, which is this walkie-talkie radio thingy here, because it's our only way to connect with the outside world and try to signal for rescue, while we're fighting off this invasion with school-issued firearms. So if you ever wondered, why did they issue firearms to schoolgirls? I have no idea. I didn't make up the rules of this game's universe. But the first weapons you have in the game are school-issued firearms, and then you find the rest as you go. But we're not using the really dumb school-issued firearms that shoot BBs. We're using the real deal stuff right now. So glowing red zombies are a lot more aggressive and will sprint. You'll see big guys like this carrying a hammer. They're a bit tougher to kill. Usually if you blow those guys up, you can have their legs fall off and they'll still try to attack you. Things like that. A mechanic that we'll take advantage of very soon is the stripping mechanic. Now, if you've not noticed that already, the girl in front of me actually has some of her clothes torn. So clothing in this game, that you wear over top of your underwear, acts like as armor, essentially. So while you have clothes on, you take reduced damage from enemy attacks. And as you take damage while wearing clothes, they start breaking. So it essentially reduces the durability. And one of the caveats to that is we can decide to strip our clothes entirely instead for what is considered a bait trap. And that gives us like a few seconds where it acts like a lure for the zombies. And in fact, we can just go ahead and do that right now in this hallway. So I'll throw my outfit out in the hallway, and as you can see there, the zombies are very much distracted by the smell of my outfit. And then it's gone. So now they'll be aggressive again. But essentially, we can do that to kind of give us a bit of breathing room if there's a lot of aggressive mobs. And that would allow us to, you know, reposition or whatever. So we have items as well. We have tripwire, which we'll be using a little bit later. It's not really useful right now. All of these, for the most part, refresh between levels. And you can get more during them as drops, as you can see on the ground. But we don't really care too much about most of the drops. But as long as Mr. Base doesn't die during the base defense missions, and we don't fail them, then we don't have to redo them. Those are the worst missions to fail on because they're pure time loss. There is no way to speed those up. It's essentially an auto-scroller, and we just gotta wait for the clock to hit 0. And that's just how the base defense missions work. So as we're progressing through the story, we realize that, man, it really sucks to be waiting for radio contact with the zombie prevention force, which is a real thing in this game, which is trying to save us. But in the meantime, Maya has a plan to collect these collect this airdrop that the zombie prevention force dropped off for us to help tide us over with like food and stuff that we might need in the meantime. So we're gonna try to clear out these zombies that are hoarding around it and collect that up. So at this point, we just emptied our SMG, and then from this point on, we're going to finish the rest of this level with the assault rifle. We get introduced to green glowy zombies now, which explode and deal poison damage if you get hit by it, which is pretty unfortunate, so we're going to try to avoid that from happening. And the exploding zombies can definitely deal damage to other zombies as well. So if we can, we'll try to make that happen when they're in clusters. And having piercing on is really nice because if there's a whole bunch of them in a line, we can essentially take them all out at once. So at this point, we're just trying to clear up the rest of the Zeds, so we got some big boys now. And if we do any sort of thing like melee or rolling, it can kind of create some distance and stagger, so sometimes we'll be taking advantage of that. But for the most part, pretty straightforward missions for now. We're going to start getting into the longer ones very soon. This game, if you were to watch all the cutscenes, is literally 2 extra hours longer. There's a lot of cutscenes in this game. And we skipped through all of them. Because, honestly, while I think the story is really, really funny and entertaining, I don't think we need to see 2 hours worth of cutscenes when we're trying to go fast. So, we get right into the action, and we don't need to worry about that. The titles of some of these missions is pretty interesting. We're on a mission called Weirdo, and, I mean, most of the time, the cutscenes explain all by themselves why this game is even what it is. So anyways, survival mission. So another mission if we lose on, which is pretty hard too. This mission's pretty easy. Just kind of stay away from the zombies. Stay alive if you can. And yeah, we'll just keep on around. If we need to, if anything ever gets really hairy, then we'll throw like our clothes at them and hope they leave us alone for a little bit. The red guys are the only real problem here because they just really love running up on you, and they always keep spawning from the lower section on the left there, as you can see them running up. So that is their dedicated spawn. The rest of the guys will just kind of spawn in around this little area here. It's a very tight, enclosed space, so we can actually take advantage of the piercing rounds on the assault rifle that we have, and kind of line them all up. Pinnacle of gaming, yeah, indeed. We're taking over with this very obscure shooter. So if you enjoyed the wholesome Shots Fired marathon up until this point, and are a little upset that it got ruined by this, I am deeply sorry. We could have had a really, really cool space shooter for half an hour instead, but they all deemed it more necessary to spice things up. So yeah, we have white blood. And in the series, this white blood isn't always an option. So, and yeah, it's adhesive as well, so it will just stick to everything, including us. So if it was red blood, it would just stay on us and stain our clothes and stuff. But since it's white, I mean, you guys get the drift. We also have grenades. I'm gonna throw a grenade there just so you can see. We're getting poisoned here. We gotta be a little bit careful. My is getting a little low on HP. I might want to throw my clothes here in the last 30 seconds for a decoy. There we go. Get naked to survive. Alright, my get naked too. Got another grenade, so we'll toss that. So on Maya's character life bar on the top left there, you'll see that it shows like the clothing icon with like a bullet hole in it. That essentially means she's got no armor. So she will take full damage at that point, but it doesn't matter. We're done the mission. Triple S, that's great. Not too hard to get a triple S. It's time dependent as well as damage that you take, with a few other variables. I've essentially triple S'd every single level on normal. Hard is a little bit different. So yeah, we're missing a lot of context because we're skipping over 2 hours worth of cutscenes. But you know, if you really want to care too much about the story, pick this game up. It's not that expensive. It's a fun time if you just want a silly, simple little shooter. So now we run into a new enemy here. These, if you ever seen that movie, I don't know, I forgot what movie it's called, the Human Centipede, that's the movie. Essentially, that's what these enemies are. Am I getting trolled here? Where is he? Why is he still behind the bookcase? There he is. So, yeah, the Human Centipede looking dudes here that are chopped in half at the torso, sewn back together. They essentially have 2 heads. They're pretty aggressive. They can jump at you. They can run really fast. We're gonna sit on top of this library desk here and just pick them off from a distance here. Because honestly, these enemies can cause a lot of problems in general. Alright, so one of the things we're going to do now is we're going to throw these clothes, bait them all over here. As you can see, they're like basically drawn to the clothes. So if they're hiding behind those bookshelves and being slow, then we'll just do that to bring them over. But standing on this desk makes it relatively safer to do this mission with no armor. And every once in a while, maybe throw a grenade over there. Just kind of help clear up the enemies as quickly as possible. And for these guys specifically, we want to aim for their head so that they die the quickest. Dismemberment doesn't really work too well on them, so the SMG is not that great. Again, it's a 0 damage gun, and we swap to one that does a lot of damage. Shotgun is the most damage that we have for a gun right now. There is rocket launchers in this game, but we don't use them because more often than not, you're going to kill yourself with them. Alright, Maya, throw your clothes, please. You're getting a little aggressive here. Essentially, they're being really annoying. There is just blood everywhere. And there is a lot of them. I'm hoping that's a grenade. Yep, grenade, perfect. Throw that over there. You can damage your allies, so we gotta be a little careful about doing that. 2 left. Last 2 guys right there, there we go. We'll blink through those menus really quickly. So the nice thing is that we can skip through menus relatively quickly, but unfortunately we do have to suffer load times. So I think that's the only thing PC has a slight advantage on. But I'll deal with consistent platform where we don't have like things like audio issues or crashes potentially, because that would be terrible to deal with. So every load screen, we will hear them say the name of this game in multiple different ways. So I hope you guys all enjoy that, and gals. And yeah, we'll get used to that. Okay, so that guy's body blocking me. That was an unfortunate spawn. So right now we're trying to get over to the other side. I'm hoping that during this run I don't accidentally go the wrong way. It has been a little bit of a while since I've really played this game too much. But for the most part, just kind of barrel our way through some of these earlier missions pretty easily. So one thing we'll take advantage of is iframes when we're rolling. I went the wrong way there slightly, but that's fine. Or no, I didn't. I'm dumb. Alright, so we gotta be a little careful here. We're out of stamina. I need to time the roll there to iframe through that egg, or else I would have exploded. So we have to be a little bit aware of that. So iframe rolls, really, really nice. Take advantage of those. We're gonna try to set up for a damage boost going down these stairs off this egg, and didn't happen. We got blocked by that zombie. If we got the damage boost, we would have flew right into the mission complete zone, and we would have been done this mission a few seconds faster. Fortunately, an unfortunate spawn happened, and the zombie kind of made it impossible. But it is what it is. Minor, small optimizations throughout the run that we try to go for. I don't usually call them all out, but this game has a bit of RNG that we have to deal with consistently throughout the run, so we take them where we can get them. Alright, so we found a secret hatch under the school that leads to this like secret mysterious facility, and so now we're exploring it. It seems to be the source of all these zombies, but we're not like 100% sure on this yet. So we're gonna go deeper into this facility, figure out what's going on. We want to know exactly what's going on here. Why did these zombies show up at the school? Now we get introduced to exploding red zombies, which deal a lot of damage. They also make it so you take double damage if you're affected by them. And we have zombie schoolgirls themselves. We are the schoolgirl hunters, they are the zombies. So the zombie girls actually are not affected by decoy clothes. So if we throw our clothes at them, they just go, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm a girl, I'm not interested. And they will still run towards us. So unfortunately, our decoy clothes do not work on them. So we have to be a little bit aware of that. I'm waiting for these group of enemies to come up here. There's a few of the multi-head guys. They need to come up here to drop the gate here that we were stuck at. If they don't and they get trapped around the corner, then we have to wait or go chase them down. And we really don't want to be doing that. Alright, so in this area we got blocked right at the end of the level. And ideally the best way to go about this, we'll pull out the shotgun, kill the big boys here. There'll be a couple more that spawn over here that we're going to try to deal with. This is what I meant by the little guys being annoying. Alright, so we killed the 4 big guys. Get out of my way. And that opens the gate here so they can get through. Yeah, the physics in this game can be a little wild, so if you see doors and stuff flying, don't worry about it. Sometimes you'll see the door get stuck on me when I roll through it. It's all intended. Alright, so this is a pretty long cutscene, that's why the load's taking a little bit longer to get through to the menu. Like I said, some cutscenes are really short, some are really small. Yo, it's Johnny. How you doing, Johnny? I love everybody in chat. Thank you for tuning in and watching Shots Fired all weekend. And definitely checking out this run of this regrettably sinful game. Yeah, so we're flying through this game. I love Ria-san. She's my favorite character of the run. Just because she is the fastest, and if you're a speedrunner, you definitely like the fastest character. Now, every character has a pro and a con, and you might be wondering, I haven't talked about what her con is. I've only talked about her pros. Well, what happens if you give the person playing the character the fastest speed? You gotta take something away. So what would we do to take away from her that would make her a little bit more balanced like the other characters? How about make her have the lowest health in the entirety of the game? That means I can die real easy with Ria-san. But we'll do our best to have that not happen. And this is going to be one of the missions we're going to start setting up the laser tripwires here. So anything that runs into them will get damaged and crawl on the ground like that. Sometimes it will insta-kill them. We also get introduced to what I consider to be the liquor equivalent of a zombie in this game. And they have really long stretchy necks, almost like Stretch Armstrongs. And they'll run all over the walls and ceilings and try to hit you with their head. Really not cool. So yeah, that's just what they are. They like chilling on the ceilings and stuff. Gonna probably whip out a couple grenades here in the hallway. The big boys, we want to really keep away from the communication device here. They deal the most damage to it. And again, the zombies are mostly aggressive to us. It's the big guys that worry a bit more about the communication device. So we'll do our best to lure them all away from that. But honestly, we do not want to be in the hallway to deal with all these enemies and not be able to see what's going on with our base here. Alright, so we have less than a minute. These missions are generally going to get really hard, the base defense ones. In fact, my estimate actually allows me to fail the last base defense mission twice. Just on the off chance that that happens, because some of these base defense missions you do not have an ally for backup. So that means that all of the problems are your problems. And that becomes a little difficult on the later missions when there's lots of zombies to deal with at once. And we haven't really even talked about a whole lot of stuff, but we did get the stripping mechanic out of the way, so that is good. There's one other interesting mechanic besides the stripping mechanic that we only use at the very end of the game, that both in New Game Plus and NE%. The only difference is that in New Game Plus, we only have to deal with the bit for the setup at the very end for when we go to continue a future New Game Plus run. In the NE% run, we have to do this just before the very end of the game because we need there's an in-game timer going, specifically counting down how long we've been wearing our underwear. And we need it to clock out in max at 30 minutes. And thankfully, this run is at least an hour long, no matter which way you slice it. So that means we have more than enough time to max out our underwear timer. And that's important, and we'll explain that a bit later. For the most part right now, we're just going to climb up to the roof and then go down the other side of the school. This guy will always spawn in the way, trying to back away from the door because he will explode. We don't want to get touched by the exploding zombies because that would be bad. Hit that guy out of the way. Melee, get through the door here. Run by these guys. Spawn these guys at the bottom here. Oh my god, I got hit. That was unfortunate. I thought I could pierce through and kill both at the same time. We haven't even gotten to a boss of the game yet. That's a whole other story. You might be thinking, man, I didn't even know there were bosses in this game. Well, joke's on you, there is. And they're pretty tricky to deal with. Especially if you want to do it fast. Alright, so we gotta kill these green explodey guys. Drop the barrier here, iframe roll through that, and we're done. Yeah, it must be this naked to continue. 100% right. When it comes to this run, being naked could be a fight or life kind of thing. As the game mentioned in the introduction, cutscene that always plays at the startup, it is always a fight for your life. So, if you want to live, sometimes you gotta give up your clothes. Getting naked might be the only way to survive sometimes. True life lessons right there. So, anyways, as we advance through, we gotta make it to the next destination. So, the whole point of us moving around from destination to destination is literally... Wow, where is the staircase? There it is. We're trying to get to these different radios so that we can hopefully find one with a decent signal to contact the zombie prevention force and tell them what's been going on, because the bases keep getting overrun by the nasty little zombie dudes. So we're running around the school. It has different like campuses and stuff like that we have to deal with. Did I just go the wrong way? I totally did. Whoops. I can never remember on this top floor if it's left or right, and of course I go the wrong way. That's fine. A few seconds of time lost there, not a big deal. Plenty of time that we could save throughout the run. Alrighty, so we made it to the new base location. Oh yeah, the clothes get really dirty, and we'll fix that a bit later into the run. So now we get introduced to the main boss of the game for us that we'll see recurring, which is what the game likes to call a copy zombie. So copy zombie is literally a copy of us, but in zombie form. I guess the way the game explains it is when we went to the underground facility, we bumped into some machines, and these machines managed to copy our DNA and create a zombie replica of us. So the girls that we have all zombie clones of themselves, and we're fighting off against one of them. Normally in the story, if you're doing a true new game run and not a new game plus run, you only get to play the character that the game gives you. And there we go, we got the quick kill for her. She stutter steps forward if you can lock her into the animation, and then you get headshots on her and her health just drops incredibly easy. If that doesn't work out, she just will hit you, melee you, whatever, and not take damage half the time. But if you can line it up just right on her head while she's trying to move forward and get the stutter step, you can literally melt the boss's health. And that works for pretty much every boss of the game except for the last boss because, well, we'll get to that. But for the most part, that is how we deal with the copy zombies. We line them up, we get them to kind of run towards us, get them into a line of fire, and then gun them down, and hopefully get them to stutter step. Alright, so first order of business is we need some card keys. There's one card key in here that we need to get. It'll lock us in with these guys. SMG works really well at close quarters, so we'll try to use that here. Again, trying to aim at their head to take advantage of our reloads. Anytime we want to do a reload when we need to be moving, we should be doing a roll into a sprint with the reload, so that we're not stuck with the strafing animation going forward. This guy decided to walk in at the wrong time, so we'll deal with him really quickly. So in this mission in particular, there's a specific order in which we want to do these card keys. We want to do the main floor one we start on, and then grab this one on the lower floor first, because there's a really annoying room that we don't want to deal with at the very end here on the third card key that we would pick up in our routing. Oh, I did not mean for that guy to fly towards me like that. That's fine. Mission will be over in a second. As you can see, we still had some iframes after that roll there. They persist a little bit longer than you think. And the next card key is in this room here. Damage roll through there. Grab the card key and the mission's over. So now we don't have to fight these guys in this enclosed space, which is a bad time. And that's why we do the routing on this particular level the way we do. So collecting the card keys in a particular order can help not only with speed, but also just in general when it comes to choosing which combat rooms to deal with in a particular order. But that is generally the fastest way to do that mission. I've tried multiple other ways to route that out, and that last room there that we grabbed the card key at is always a nightmare. So yeah, much easier if we do it like that. Alright, so our other characters that were split off in the underground facility are going to try to escape. I know I'm playing as the same character all the way through the game, and like I said, if this wasn't New Game Plus, we'd be playing as very different characters every time we were doing a mission, pretty much. And that would make more sense with the story. But we want to go fast. And playing a new game in this, the new game run in this game is a lot more difficult and requires a much bigger estimate. And is a lot more RNG intense. Because we're relying on the game trying to give us good equipment. And honestly, half the time, that's probably not going to happen. So I almost exclusively run New Game Plus at this point. Because New Game runs are too difficult half the time to get a run to finish at a decent speed. That was unfortunate. I didn't even get the full roll off. Alright, so our roll has to actually get like part way through the animation for us to gain the iframes. If I'm at the peak of the roll, it doesn't really help. I need to be about, I would say, at least a quarter of the way through the roll. Deal with the big guys first. Go ahead and grab a grenade here. Clear up these cop zombies here. Nice quick work of those. We're missing a guy here. Where is this guy? Where'd he go? Are you kidding me? Where is this guy? Probably one of those guys. Nope. They're all... Maya, get up here! You're luring them the wrong way! Why are you trolling me like this? Yes, come up to the close. Yep, come up this way. Jeez. Like, I'm literally trying to get these specific enemies to spawn, and it's just not doing it. Maya, throw your clothes, please. There we go. Wow. Yeah, unfortunately, Maya got stuck around the corner there and was getting harassed. So literally the only thing I could think of doing to help alleviate the issue is throw my clothes, bait her and them up so that we had some room to move, and then get her to throw her clothes to lure the rest over. It's unfortunate that we lost as much time as we did at that part, but, you know, it happens. Yeah, essentially, yeah, that's exactly kind of how the iframes work. They do end up getting lagged So once you start the roll, the animation, while it's already finished, the iframes kind of persist a little bit afterwards. Anyways, so more copy zombies. So same strat as before. The only difference is you don't want to be using dismemberment guns on these particular, on the copy zombies, because you can't dismember them. Bosses, you cannot use dismemberment early out to deal damage. So the SMG that does 0 damage is not really that great for dealing damage to them. You're better off using the shotgun, which I have equipped, or the assault rifle, which we're currently using, and trying to get them to stand still to stutter step them. And ideally, the best way to do that is lure them and then try to back up with headshots in line. Alright, we got a 2-for-1 special right there. The benefit of having piercing rounds. This last one right here, one has a shotgun, one has an assault rifle, and one has a sniper. Obviously, the one with the sniper is still alive. But we'll have to try to strap around her. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to try to get her with the shotgun. Get right up on her head to deal bonus damage like I just did there. If you point blank her in the head with the shotgun, if you get lucky, you can just watch the health bar get deleted. Usually, you don't get that opportunity, but since she was just gonna stand there and snipe, pretty easy target to pick off, to be honest. But you saw her go from like half to pretty much dead almost instantly when I got the headshot on her. So we're barreling through this run. We're getting close. I think we're on like what, start of chapter 4 at this point. I can't remember. There's like 5 or 6 chapters. Not sure how far through the run we are. When we hit about the hour mark, that's a pretty good sign that we're close to the end of the run. Alright, so Maya has a clone. And Maya is already really annoying. And her clone, for whatever reason, decides to talk a lot and will scream like she's doing right now. And Sayuri's clone right here will use tentacles to kind of trap us. So she's a little easier to deal with. But we really want to get rid of Maya first, because she is really, really annoying. So go ahead and try to do the best we can to solve our issue. Need her to shut up. Wow. Wow, I'm just getting stun locked. Oh my god, she's stun locking me with her SMG. Alright. Melee her down. There we go. Alright. One less annoying voice to deal with. So we don't have to listen to Maya talk anymore. Now it's a little bit more peaceful. Sorry it took so long to kill her. There we go. Shots fired has definitely truly hit its peak. You wanted a game with lots of shooting, you got it. I'm just very sorry it has to be with anime waifus stripping their clothes off and getting naked. But, I mean, you can't have everything you want. With all the cutscenes that are going on, like I said, 2+ hours worth of with heartfelt cutscenes and cool story and emotion. The characters initially did not like each other. They're not the best of friends, but as they go on through this adventure, trying to survive, they start becoming a bit closer as friends. So, by the end, you'll truly understand what I mean by that. So in this mission, we have to destroy all of these impurity gates scattered around the schoolyard. And to do this, we pull out the assault rifle, kind of position ourselves away from the entry point, and walk backwards as much as we can, and just unload a full clip into them, basically, and keep moving forward. So we're gonna... I did not get up the ledge there. I was going to get up the ledge and roll off. So we're gonna get behind here a little bit further away. We can get pretty far away. Save some time with killing them. Roll, start the animation for running, and then we can do a reload. Safe spot here is to jump behind this bench so they can't really reach you unless they jump over it. Did not deal enough damage, I guess, to break that, which is unfortunate. One more gate to break over here. This one spawns a lot of guys through it, so we'll hide behind the statue over here and just shoot at it from this direction. Try not to get hit. If you walk backwards a bit, sometimes it can help. But if they decide to jump at us like that, not too much we can do. But as you can see, piercing rounds, I can still hit the gate from way back here for all these enemies. Honestly, when I started using piercing rounds on weapons, you can't go back to any other types. Most guns in this game will roll with 1 to 2 modifiers on them. They can't roll with any more than that that I'm aware of. If they do, haven't seen it. They must be really rare, but haven't seen them before. So there's one character in our party of schoolgirls that no one really likes. She considers herself the idol of the group, the class president. Well, not the class president, but the idol of the group. The class prez is actually Sayuri, who's like the main character. And so this is a solo defense mission. One of 2 that we have to do, where we are just on our own, and not necessarily the hardest one. There's one at the very end of the game that's considered to be harder. So we're gonna do our best to kind of set ourselves up to not have an unfortunate base destruction here. So I got the tripwires ready just in case. So I see a bunch of guys coming this way. We're gonna set the tripwire up there. Help take out some of these guys a little bit easier and slow them down, so the big guys take so much longer to kill. I'm hoping that we can get another tripwire drop, because that would be kind of nice. Tripwires are pretty nice. They last a good amount of time. They can break really fast if lots of zombies run into them. But yeah. Bearing their souls, so to speak. Yep, basically. Yeah, the most common... don't hit that! You damn jerk. Alright, so we're gonna melee these guys away. Knock them back. Throw a grenade here. Not always an instant kill on the big guys, but... It works pretty well. So melee uses stamina, which is fine since it's a base defense mission. But ideally we want to keep these guys away from the communication device here. This character's melee that we're using isn't particularly strong. In fact, there is a character that has really good melee. He also happens to have, like, I don't even know what this weapon is, but it's like the big long stick with a knife at the end. Kill that guy through the window. 20 seconds left. We should be in the clear at this point. Unless somehow I just don't kill anything for the next 20 seconds, then we could lose. But, we're gonna try to... I'm gonna throw my clothes here to distract them. There we go. Alright, as you can see, they're a little too busy with killing my clothes there that when I threw them, that they weren't able to kill the base at the end there, which is nice, because there's no way I was going to kill that many right at the very end. I was getting a little overrun there towards the end. So yeah, we're on Chapter 4. We're almost in the last stretch of the run already. We are definitely going pretty damn fast.
Zombie hunter.
Yeah, large range weapons that we have throughout the game, but we only use these 3. They all have piercing, and they all have... Yeah, so SMG, piercing, dismemberment, assault rifle is piercing and damage up, and the shotgun is piercing and blast, I believe? Or damage on it, one of the two. Our shotgun being the strongest weapon, but the shittiest range. So, generally that's why we avoid using it, unless it's on bosses or in rare cases. So, another eradicate everything mission. They all go brr. Yep. In fact, the SMG that we have shoots really, really fast, which is pretty nice. Like, it can wreck things pretty good if we can just kind of, like, spray around them. Because the way dismemberment works is if you hit the limbs, it kills them, because it does 0 damage otherwise. It literally is only good for severing limbs, and that's how you kill most things in this game. So if I just, like, focused on the zombie legs, then and they fell off, then they would just start crawling. Teammates are actually helping out pretty nicely. The AI partners in this game aren't particularly the smartest, but they can be pretty useful sometimes. Mostly, you want your AI to be really good at being the decoy themselves, because if they're pulling aggro, then you're free to do whatever you need to do to speed up the levels. In the rare case that, you know, they don't get trapped behind a wall and you're waiting to kill all the enemies to advance, but... You know, you don't really deal with that too often. Alright, so we're gonna speed on through the return to the underground segment. So the whole reason we're going back underground in the facility is... they all had this weird idea of, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? Let's use all of this C4 that the Zombie Prevention Force dropped off for us and blow up the underground facility underneath the school. Because, yeah, why not have the police force drop off a bunch, like a case full of C4 and suggest for them to go and blow up the facility. I have no idea if they're around. Why are they not, like, just picking us up and getting the hell out of here? I don't know. For some reason, they can't spare the effort to retrieve us right now with all this commotion and other rescues going on simultaneously, I guess. Too many other important people to save. Not these squirrel girls. No, no, no. Let them save themselves. That just be how it be. What are we missing? Hello? Are we missing an enemy somewhere? One of my allies is stuck out the door. This zombie's glitched on the fucking rafter. Alright, we're through. Jesus. That was a interesting zombie spawn. I was wondering where my ally was too, and she's not even in the arena. She got locked out. In general, I really, really love this series because it's just silly, dumb fun. And you just play the game. You don't really need to think too much about the game in a casual sense. Anyways, very different boss. This is the Beast from the Deep. This boss on New Game is very scary. Not as bad if I can get the right timing on his attacks down and get my iframes going. He does a lot of damage, as you can see. So we're trying to iframe roll. And essentially this boss, if it wasn't New Game Plus, I'd already be dead. Because he does so much damage. So we're trying to get him to do a particular pattern, but he's just not cooperating that nicely. You want him to run at me and do a hit like that. Easiest attack to avoid. If he does like the knee charge midair thing with the delayed attack, it's a little bit scarier to try to dodge, but... I mean, as rough as that started out, it went pretty well once... Went pretty good once we got it going. Truly the only really scary boss fight in the game, aside from the last boss. Which we're now going to be getting into the last chapters of the game. So, that was like... I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or so of the run left. Something like that. Nice easy mission here. All we have to do after killing the boss is wait for the other girls to unlock the exit for us, because we got trapped in here. And the idea for this mission is just run around for about 3 minutes. That's all we have to do. Is just not die and run around. Easy peasy, basically. Lots of zombies will keep spawning. Eggies are around. I tried to iframe roll that, but that didn't work. We get to like play around with the zombies. Usually this mission is where you would want to spend most of your time farming equipment or guns. Just because you really don't have anything other to do than survive and then collect the weapons, really, along the way. Plenty of time to do that without really worrying too much about things. But I have yet to find any new equipment that would make this run any faster than it already is. It really just boils down to some luck with the zombie positioning and how you deal with some of the RNG that you get along the way. So yeah, as I said, normally if you shoot your strafe, so you lose movement speed while you're shooting, and if you're reloading, it's the same deal for a few seconds. And you can't sprint while re-reloading, right? So as you can see, like, unless I start the sprint after the reload starts, then I can do it immediately. I can't do it immediately, but if you do a roll, then the reload, right? So you shoot the gun, roll, and then hit reload while you start sprinting at the same time, you can immediately start sprint out of that. It literally only saves a few seconds each, like mere fractions of seconds each time you do it. But over the course of the entirety of the run, it really does add up with the amount of time that can be saved with just reloads alone. All the hype for lewd anime schoolgirls getting naked to save the world. Killing zombies. So AEDs is an item that we haven't explained yet. Essentially, it's a resuscitation kit. It allows you to revive party members. And We don't really use it until, like, the very last mission, or the boss. Because we kind of want to keep our allies alive as decoys, sort of like cannon fodder. Because we want to, you know, not get overrun or get aggressively mowed down by the zombies. But particularly it's to get the boss to kind of stay off our track a little bit. Because the boss it literally hunts you down like a hound dog. Alright, so we're getting ready for basically the last defense mission of the game. We're getting ready to say goodbye to Mr. Base. Mr. Base has served its purpose. We're using it one final time to call in reinforcements. This is one of the tougher ones to do sometimes. So we're hoping that all of our party members can stay alive just long enough that we don't have to deal with too much of this on our own. Oh man, they're already letting them through. And the base is already getting damaged pretty heavily. Yeah, so mission fail right off the bat. Like I said, not an easy one. They let them through this time really quickly, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to do a quick restart of the mission. That can happen. This defense mission is a pain in my rear when it comes to running this game. Thankfully, it failed almost immediately, so not a big deal. Yes, this is the real MASH. Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully not as terrible. We're gonna immediately place down this tripwire, get grenades ready. Try to pick off these guys on the ceilings immediately, because I feel like those were also part of the problem. Alright, so now that we're at this point, we're outside, we're keeping them at bay. I'm gonna start using our clothes to distract some of them. And then we're gonna stretch that out amongst our party members so that we're spacing out the decoy traps to give us the most breathing room possible. Because we want to keep the base from getting damaged too much. Alright, so my decoys are on out. We'll make the next character throw her clothes. Just keep them all busy outside here. Throw the next person's clothes. So we have 2 more decoy clothings left. Oh, that guy's getting in. Kill that guy, hopefully. There we go. Still full health on Mr. Base this time around, so that's good. Alright, for our next set of clothes, space out those decoys so that we're keeping them away from Mr. Base. Because we do eventually want to get out of this zombie-infested school. Alrighty. 30 seconds left on the clock. Throw out our last decoy close. That'll last a few seconds there. And I think we're in the home free. I don't think, even if they start overrunning us, I don't think they can break it fast enough. I don't even want to chance that, but we're all good now. Alright, finally made it through. I'm glad that we failed the mission only once and only at the very beginning, which, I mean, minimal time loss at that point. So, really, really good stuff. So, there's only a few levels left. So we have, I think, 3 levels left. So we have this level coming up next, which is literally just kill a bunch of zombies out in the school courtyard. Then we have the last time that we'll be fighting the zombie clones. Or the copy zombies. Not clones, but copy zombies. And then we have the final boss. So we got about 10-ish minutes before the run's done at this point. So we're going pretty fast. Space out our decoy clothes here. Kind of lure them all to the center, make it a little bit easier to kill them. Yeah, come all over here. Yep, come right to the clothing. Yeah, smell that? Smell the sweat. Right over here, zombies. Come and get it. There we go. Pretty easy mission, really. Easy on New Game Plus, not so easy on New Game, though. Which one is my waifu? The character we're playing as, Ryo-san, the fastest, speediest of them all. Although, I do like Sayuryu a little bit, but not that much. Anyway, second to last mission here. We have the final showdown with the copy zombies. We gotta kill the relevant clones of ourselves. So there's 5 of them we gotta deal with all at once. So that means Maya's copy zombie is back. So she's gonna be screaming in our ears. We will try to kill them as fast as possible. If we can kinda focus Maya down, we'll do that if we can. But I'm not promising anything. So yeah, this is just gonna be a little bit of a nightmare for a little bit. Yep, stand there just like that. Yeah, just keep standing there like that, Maya. Yeah. Right there. Let me get those headshots. Alright, she's immediately dead. And now, immediately, you notice that it's a lot quieter because she's dead. You notice how it's a lot quieter now because she's gone? She's so annoying. Yeah, Maya down. So yeah, the piercing makes it really nice when we can line them up like this. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this grenade. Maybe it hits them. Yep. Perfect. Alright, they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive now. I'm gonna get rid of the sniper girl now. I'm like... So the way the cursor works, like the aimer, is it's from the left, so you can actually miss. Oh no, I got grabbed. Alright, come on, get out. There we go. There we go. Alright, that was a pretty good cleanup there on the end of the copy zombie fight. Alright, so final showdown with the last boss of the game. Probably only 3 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take longer than that, maybe even less. Depends on how RNG and behaved Ren wants to be. Which we briefly saw in that last mission at the start, where with that cutscene, just before we skipped it. So Ren is the leader zombie of the whole bit. So he's the reason for all these zombies popping up here from the lab, and he made the clones of us. So now we got to deal with Ren. So Ren dodges a lot, has an incredibly high amount of HP, and is very aggressive, and does a lot of damage. So what we're trying to do is we're going to stagger out our decoy clothes to allow ourselves some breathing room from the zombie ads that'll keep spawning, and hopefully get Ren lined up where we can deal damage to them, because he's so much harder to hit while he's not recovering from an attack. So he'll attack and then pant for a few seconds, like he is right now. He doesn't move, so it makes it a little bit easier to deal damage to him. And we have the underwear trap, which we'll probably start using very soon here for our next set of decoy clothes. For our next set. I'm surprised everybody in our party is still alive at this point. Usually you already have like 1 or 2 dead once he gets to half health, but I mean, so far things have been cooperating pretty nicely. Alright, we lost one, that's fine. He's almost dead. This fight becomes increasingly more difficult when there's only like me and one other ally alive. Speaking of which, that's probably going to happen very soon. I might want to AED. Use the AED. There we go. Alright, time for the underwear trap. So, the underwear trap lasts for 60 seconds at this point, which is a whole minute. That's like the best bait you can use in the game. Wear your underwear for 30 minutes, turn it into a weapon. Alright, Ren's almost dead. Get ready on time coming up soon. Ren just needs to start cooperating a little bit more. Alright. Just me left. We're gonna try to kill him with the shotgun here. Deal the most damage we can. Wait for an attack. Dodge. And as soon as Ren dies, that's time. Oh, come on, I'm missing. Time. There we go. That is the run in a nutshell. That is the 90% for the game. Ren is obviously very upset about that. Ren, I don't know if he dies or if he just disappears. I'm not sure. He doesn't really explain what happens with him. This next cutscene that plays to wrap up the story, and the characters have like the heartfelt, you know, man, we come a long way. We've become great friends. Let's hang out. The helicopter comes and saves us. And, yeah, it's crazy. So, my PB for this run is like a 115, I think, if I recall correctly. So, if we have anything under that, that's great. If we don't, and it's under 125, the estimate, then that's even better. All is good. Anyways, this is a pretty long cutscene, but we have a ritual to go through. And then, as we do this, we'll wrap up. We have the outro credits, which is pretty cool. But we can skip that. Just takes a few seconds. And so normally at the end of every New Game Plus run, like I said, in any percent with New Game, we would be doing this before we go to the last mission. And essentially what we need to do now is set up for another New Game Plus run in the future. And to do that, we've been playing the game for at least an hour, so we go into profile here. We go to our character, Risa, and we take off our underwear, and we get to enjoy a beautiful cutscene, and the girls finally get clean. And that allows us to reset for the next run. Make sure that we have that nice little bait trap ready to go. But anyways, if you enjoyed watching this game or wanted to check this game out, play it for yourself, interested in the story, then, you know, pick it up, play it on Steam, play it on PlayStation. Those are the two platforms you can buy and play it on. And if you're interested in the Onishambara series at all, which is a really nice Bayonetta-style DMC sort of action hack and slash, definitely hit me up. Check it out on SRDC. You'll find this game along with the rest. And hope you enjoyed. That is all I have for you. But thanks for watching, and continue enjoying Shots Fired.